Hi everyone, how are you doing? This is Amanda. So we're going to do a reading for November today, and we're going to be pulling in the energy of Archangel Metatron, who is my main guide. November is a big month, and on this channel we always do something for the 1111 portal. One of the most important portals in the year for me, certainly with my work with Archangel Metatron, who's all about the number 11. So there's going to be a separate video that I do on that, and it will probably very likely be a meditation stroke guided visualization based around a particular topic or theme. The topics and themes keep changing day by day, so I'm going to record that nearer the time because it might change again. So we'll look at that nearer the time. In November, though, there are a number of big energies which are coming our way, not just the 1111 portal. I'm recording this actually on Saturday, the 30th of October. It might not go up until the 31st. But as I'm recording it, we haven't gone through Samhain yet. We haven't also gone through Halloween. They are coming up where the veils are very thin between the two worlds. Also, we have the Day of the Dead, which is commemorated in particular. I'm looking at my internet here, particularly in Mexico. I think that's on the 1st and 2nd of November. We have also got All Souls Day and All Saints Day, which is celebrated in different parts of the world as well. What else is going on? We have a Scorpio new moon on the 4th of November, and we also have a partial lunar eclipse on the 19th. Are you ready for this month? Yeah, we're ready. We are ready. And yes, it's going to be powerful. Yes, it's going to be very cleansing. It's going to be very scorpionic by nature. We are in Scorpio season. But we're just going to dive into the messages that can help you understand the energies of this month ahead, steer you through it, hopefully, give you some support and guidance, and look at what is happening and why. Okay. So I'm going to weave in, like I always do, some colour therapy, some channeling from Metatron. I'm going to be using some cards, and I'm going to be using a particular deck that I haven't used for a long time, a long time. I don't even know if I've ever used them on YouTube. They are a deck which called to be used today, and they're called the Spirit Oracle by Patrick Gamble. Now, Patrick Gamble is a UK artist. I think he used to live near me in my part of the world. I'm not sure whether he still does, or whether he just used to come here quite a lot to do work. But anyway, this is his deck, and yes, very Merlin-esque. So I'm going to be pulling from that. I've already pulled one card from it, and I will show you what it is, and then we're going to build the message. And it's this card, which is about mystery. It's about mystery. And in fact, let me just show you the card, okay? And I'd also like to read you the message that goes with this card, because then it sort of paves the way for what needs to come through in this. I'm also going to read you a poem, a beautiful poem. I'm always inspired by poetry. I think it's a nod to my dad, who always, I mean, he's still alive, but he always loved poetry, and he read me poetry as a child, and it seems to be within my blood. So anyway, this card, the card of mystery, what it's about, let me put the card up to the camera. Hopefully you can see that okay. It says, mystery is about our future. Sometimes in the darkness, we cannot see where we are going in life. And when the sun goes down, we see no horizons, but they are still there. But in the depth of night, we become scared and uncertain. We fear making decisions that may take us deeper into the unknown. We have to learn not to feed the fear and become like the lost child. A man who is blind still knows of all things around him. You have to be like the blind man and know that all your horizons are still there. Allow yourself to be carried forwards from the darkness into the light. The raven within this picture represents the fears and the negativity that we carry within ourselves from yesterdays. The quartz crystal is carrying a continuous pulse, symbolizing love, courage, and positivity to overcome and break through into the dawn of a new day. So, wow, what a powerful card to start with. And it just feels so November. This time of year, particularly in my part of the world, summertime is over, going into winter. I realise it's not the same everywhere, but we're going into the darker months. Now, whether you are or whether you're not, we are definitely diving deeper into the mysteries of life this month, okay? And we mustn't fear it, as the card says. We must hold within our heart curiosity and the wish to explore. And remembering what this card used as an analogy of the blind man or woman who can't necessarily see exactly where they're going, but they know that the world is still around them. They can feel the breeze on their face. They can, feel the earth underneath them. They will be guided, okay? Before I pull any other cards, I'd also just like to read this abridged poem from the Wee Moon 2021 Gaia Rhythms for Women diary. This is a piece of writing by somebody called Mindi Meltz. She wrote it in 2019. It's called Resurrection by Vulture. I mean, come on, we've just got to get to the nitty gritty this month, okay? I think it's a beautiful piece of writing. I'm just going to read you a couple of lines of it. So this is all about us needing to rebirth ourselves, which is what November always offers us, particularly with the 1111 portal, which is about duality, going through that gateway, shedding the skin, but also being brave enough to look at all parts of ourselves, the light and the dark, the fear and the joy, the pleasure and the pain, okay? So these are Mindi's words. She says, imagine a world whose creation myth begins not with light, not even with darkness, but with a vulture, picking clean the bones of a dream we finally admitted was dead. The vulture, with her naked head, her naked face, the comforting tent of her black wings, discreetly enfolding our dying. There is no shame in a body, no shame in our mistakes. Every sinew, every organ is sacred in its undoing. She scented out our grief. She travelled down from the highest pinnacles of the sky to alight upon our bare, helpless bones. Her body is a crucible that destroys every foul pathogen. She comes to cleanse the earth of all its suffering. She comes to ingest our unfinished stories, the sweet intentions in our lies, the meat of our devouring, the wounds of our losses, our shapes that once cast shadows. She comes to recycle them into muscle and wing and remind us that they belong to the universe. Yes, this is our time of belonging. Imagine a world whose creation myth begins with letting go, letting the ugly vulture unbind our beauty and letting the form unwind, letting her prepare us to become the earth. She's going to live a long, long time as vultures do, because they eat truth every day. And for all the 1,000 ways that we resurrect into new lives, new worlds, out of the green, heedless fronds of the earth, we are also living up there in her wings, forever in the absolute stillness of her flight, on the skies of forgiveness. Perfection, total perfection. There's a ladybird climbing on my window that I've just seen as well. So we've got the animal totems, we've got the ladybird, we've got the vulture, and we've got the raven, and we've got Scorpio season. I think that's a very powerful piece of writing because it's demonstrating that everything that we go through in life has a purpose, can be recycled is the word that's used in the card, and gives fuel to something else. So from our sorrows, for example, we can gain, I don't know, greater insight, start up new initiatives, new projects, new ways of helping other people based on our empathy, based on the fact that we've gone through it. And we haven't just gone through it, we've survived it. So November feels as though it's a month to look back, yes, let go, yes, but equally appreciate all that has happened in our life, the good and the bad. And as we cast off the old to walk through the portal later on in this month, to have great sacred reverence for this great journey that we're all on, this great opportunity that we all have to be here on Mother Earth right now when it's really difficult, it's really challenging. But we're here, we made it, and we're still surviving, and hopefully we're going to be thriving. So let's do some cards, and let's see what messages Spirit has for us this month. Okay, let's call in the angels. Let's call in Archangel Metatron. Let's call in Archangel Sandalphon. Let's call in Archangel Raphael, Michael, Jophiel, Gabriel, Zadkiel, Uriel, the whole angelic kingdom. Thank you. And we have the card which says Home, Sweet Home. There's a nod there, and we have got the moon. We've got the Scorpio new moon. There's a nod that I've never done that. If you watch my videos, I've never actually listed all of the archangels like that. I was called to do that. And I feel as though it's to do with the angelic kingdom that many of us are at home with. It feels like home to be in the angels' arms. We also have angelic energies as well. So Home Sweet Home, card number 70. Let's see what else goes with that. Why have we got the card of Home Sweet Home? Direction. We have the card of direction. I think I'm going to pull 6 cards. Okay, 4 other cards. And let's just build up a message here. Courage, Winged Messenger. It's quite interesting because this deck is very shamanic in nature, but you'll see that I've been talking angels, and then we've got this card that's just come through, which is the Winged Messenger, which is obviously the angel. Okay, we've got 4 cards, 2 more, and then I'll show you them and we'll discuss what the messages are. Doorway, wow. Awareness. Creation on the bottom of the deck. Mystified, right. It's interesting, in this deck, I've pulled 2 cards and they've both got the word mystery in. Mystery and mystified. Energetically, there's a feeling of dizziness. There's a feeling of not knowing. I guess it's what I've read out in that passage, but I'm actually energetically feeling it now, feeling a little bit dizzy, disorientated, head in a spin. I'm seeing time whizzing by very, very fast in front of all of our eyes. I'm seeing that this year has gone quite fast for many of us. I'm seeing events and people and places, and now I'm seeing newsreels, and it's just like they're whizzing by faster and faster and faster. And it's as though the planet itself is just getting faster and faster and faster. And I'm being shown the axes of the earth, and it's like she's rotating faster and faster and faster. And it doesn't necessarily feel a good energy at all. I'm now being shown this hand that just wants to come over Mother Earth and just allow a pause. a pause for us to learn how to breathe, and a portal to be able to sink into our true nature, our wisdom, our light, and absolutely to find the direction. I mean, the first card here is direction, and it went with home sweet home. It feels as though, through no fault of our own, because of what's going on in the world at the moment, with so much that is changing, so much that is in flux, so much that is in transition, we don't know whether we're coming or going. It's almost like we don't know what week it is, we don't know what day it is, we don't know what portal it is, we don't know what moon phase it is. And it's important this November to use these powerful days to sink into the energy of the void, the unknowingness, but there's also silence within the void. There's silence within the space of nothingness. It's as though we're all distracting ourselves, keeping ourselves busy, putting our attention and our focus onto things that aren't necessarily that important. And it's as though November's energy comes in, and there's an opportunity for us to really discover what is truly important, where our North Star is, where we are heading, where we need to be heading. And it's as though it's interesting, it's as though the portal this month feels as though what's that phrase? About being in the eye of the storm, but it's as though we're in the eye of the storm, but the eye itself is a very peaceful place. It's a very tranquil place. It's a place of mastery from which so much can be birthed and created, but it comes from that place of deep stillness, deep mystery, deep unraveling, deep revealing, whilst around that process, it's as though you're in a pod. It's as though we're all in a pod. We're being put into a pod by Spirit. And it's sacred and it's beautiful and it's deep and it's very healing within that pod. But around us there is just this chaos. But allow the chaos just to spark and do whatever it needs to do. It's as though I'm being shown like a fuse that eventually just blows. And I'm talking here about the chaos and the disorder and this and that and all these different things that are happening. It's as though it burns itself out eventually. But we must not become burnt out by being too immersed in all of this craziness. I'm seeing us just within this pod. It's like we're in this pod. We're within the arms of the angels. It's as though the angels are coming round and they are wrapping you in their wings. And maybe just for a moment, I'd like you to I'd like you just to witness and feel into, I want to light a candle, the angel that's coming forward for you right now and wrapping their wings around you. So let's just get another candle, because my candle just went out. And that feels symbolic as well, because it's as though, again, I keep picking this message up, the lights will never go out. The lights will not go out. But, there we go. Okay, the lights will not go out, certainly within ourselves. Right, I'm going to spray the Sapphire Peace Spray. And I'd like you just to imagine that you've got this beautiful dark blue, sapphire blue energy coming around you and bringing in that peaceful night sky. Okay. It's interesting that this version of the Peace Spray that we don't have on sale anymore, but it actually was one we did dedicated to John Lennon. And it says, give peace a chance, honouring John Lennon. So it's also bringing in that blue butterfly, but it's bringing in the energy of peace. So it's as though we need to find the peace this month. So just allow that sapphire energy just to enfold you and wrap its beauty around you. And then we're just sensing an archangel approaching, and it feels as though the angel is behind us, and it's tall and the wings are vast. You may be able to feel a colour or a sensation. You may not, it doesn't matter. Whether you can sense it or whether you can't does not matter. The angel is still there right now with you, behind you. And it's just wrapping its wings very gently around you, giving you this tender hug. It's as though you're just enfolded in these angels' wings. And it comes as a winged messenger. It comes as a winged messenger. So that also feels as though there is a message. There is a profound message that you are going to be receiving this month. And it opens up the doorway to greater awareness in terms of your place here in this planet, this earth, your role, your mission, or it's to do with the next step. We have the doorway card number 13, and we have the card of awareness, card number 7. But I'm wanting to put them with this card of the winged messenger, the angel, okay? The winged messenger brings forth something, some piece of news, some piece of understanding, some new perspective, some new sign that really opens something up that's pretty big. It's a doorway, and look at this, it's expanding hugely your awareness of your place, your incarnation here on Mother Earth, you know, what you're meant to be doing next. And that might be, you know, it could just be that you are where you're meant to be. It doesn't always have to be the big reveal in terms of, right, you've now got to go and move to the other side of the world or anything like that. You know, it can be, the message is that you're doing fine, you know, you're actually where you need to be. But if that were the case, there is a greater appreciation that comes in, or a greater understanding of why you are where you are right now and what it is that you're meant to be learning. It's a doorway of great discovery, but it just also feels as though all of these cards that I've got here, and okay, it might be the nature of the deck, but I have chosen this deck for a reason, or was asked to use this deck by Metatron for a reason. Can you see, of 7 cards that I've got here, 4 of them have got this energy of something watching over us, a higher being watching over us, okay, which feels very protected. Sorry, it feels very protective. Okay, it's very protective of us. So we've also got the energy of the horse and the unicorn. Or is that a unicorn as well? No, it's 2 unicorns actually. It's not horse, it's 2 unicorns in this deck. White unicorn. And I'm being told to read the message of this particular one, card number 69. So let's have a look at what that one's about. That's the card of mystified. Mystified. It says, 2 worlds torn in 2 directions, a glimpse through the invisible veil that separates us from a world of wonder, delight and magic. There is a moment of mystifying connection between souls that once knew each other, somewhere within an enchanted realm that the physical mind and world cannot fully understand. There's also a little fairy here tugging on the unicorn's ear here. It's very whimsical, it's very magical, it's very elemental, it's fairy-like, it's wonder, it's the energy of wonder. I've talked about wonder before this year. Remember, this goes with the card of mystery. It's opening up to magic. It really is. It's opening up to magic. But you're only going to be able to really feel into that magic and witness that magic and utilize that magic if you're able to let go of all the other chaos that's going on out there and you're in this sort of little pod. I keep seeing us in a pod. It's literally like peas in a pod. That's the type of pod that I'm seeing that we're in. And the thing about when you pop a pea out of the bean pod, it's like there's a thing, they only pop out when it's fresh. So there's something to do with new fresh energy coming in, but we definitely need to be within that this month. Let me pull a card from, I'm going to pull some tarot cards now, and I also like to pull some cards from my own Metatron deck. Let's pull a Metatron card first. Okay, so Metatron, November. We will come back for the 11/11 video, but what would you like to say about the overall energy of this coming November? November 2021. Thank you. We have the cup of replenishment, golden light. We've also got leadership again on the bottom of the deck. This keeps coming up, this card, over and over and over. Answering the call, stepping up to the plate, drinking from the cup. You drink from the cup when you know you're worthy of taking the cup. So it may very well be there's a lot of healing taking place this month in terms of us feeling worthy to step up to the next challenge, whatever that means, okay? But definitely this feels again a card, they feel cards of blessings. It's an energy of blessings that's coming down. The infinity sign, okay? Unconditional love, infinite love from the universe, drink from the cup. Definitely feels as though this November is a very powerful month of healing. Okay, let's pull some cards from the tarot now. And I'm going to use this deck, which is the Vice Versa Tarot, which is an unusual deck because it has pictures on front and back of all the minor arcana and major arcana. Okay, 5 cards, please. Let's have a look at the energy for November. The Ace of Pentacles. Fresh new start. The Prince of Cups. And in this position, he's riding away. I feel like he's delivered his message, okay? Because the Prince of Cups comes with a message, okay? A message of love, a message of emotional support, a message of emotion, but he's come, he's delivered it. We've got the 8 of, so let me just do that again because I wasn't actually properly concentrating. Let me just concentrate. I want 5 cards. It was the 8 of Cups, by the way, in case you're wanting to know what it was. It'll come back out if it's meant to. Okay, 3 more cards, please, Metatron, for November. The Ace of Swords. Wow, 2 aces. The 5 of Swords. And the, what is that? What is that? I think that is the King of Pentacles. Yeah, it's the King of Pentacles. Okay. So we have 2 aces. We have Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords. Fresh new start, fresh new energy, fresh new resource coming in. Fresh new insight coming in with the Ace of Swords. So is that a vulture? I don't know whether it's meant to be a vulture, but I feel that could be a vulture based on what I was reading to you earlier. Okay. Whatever it is, it's got a wreath of victory. Okay. What else have we got here? We've got the 5 of Swords, but this is about walking away from the battle. 5 of Swords is victory at any cost. Okay. But you'll see it's got 2 different versions of it. This was the version I pulled. So this is saying that it feels like the battle is over at some level of being. Maybe a particular battle that you've been fighting. I guess it fits in with the whole thing about letting go. You've just got to let go. It's like the battlefield, going back to the vulture. The vulture takes away that which is done. It's walking away from the battlefield. Feels as there's a message for a few of you here because I'm hearing no one's a winner. It feels as though this isn't for everybody, but it's definitely, I'm picking up an energy here linked into this Five of Swords, whereby you've been in combat or battle with somebody. It could have been a war of words I'm hearing, or it could be a legal fight or something like that. But it's as though, for some reason, both parties walk away. There's no more, I think it's relationships, there's no more point in fighting. It's like when you, sometimes in a relationship, it's like everything's been said. It's like you've had all the arguments, everything's been said, you know what's going to be said in the next argument. It's time just to walk away, with your head held high. King of Pentacles, why have we got the King of Pentacles, please? He's sitting there, we can't see him. We're seeing the back of him. Why are we seeing the back of the King of Pentacles? He's actually hiding a big pumpkin or something there behind his chair. He's keeping his eye on that bull in this card. He's keeping an eye on the bull. And the bull, of course, is linked into finance and resource, Taurus. And we've also got the Ace of Pentacles. So it feels as though November is a time to watch our finances. Maybe, just resource ourselves in different ways. I noticed, for example, I've got PayPal, as I'm sure most people have, and I noticed the other day when I was just looking at my account that they've, for the first time I think ever, they've got a cryptocurrency tab. So I think you can pay in cryptocurrency. And I'm like, whoa, okay, it's getting more mainstream if it's there as a just everyday tab on PayPal. So it could be a nod to that. It could be something else. I'm also hearing it's also to do with the way governments are financing things. There was the most, I don't want to get too political, but there was the most ludicrous situation in the UK this past week. We've just had our budget, okay? The Chancellor stood up and gave the budget. And it said something along the lines of, don't quote me on these figures, but I don't think I'm that far off. Something like the UK, as an example, I think we're certainly in the top 10 in terms of richest countries in the world. But we're 2.2 trillion pounds in debt. I'm sure there's lots of other countries that have got just as big a debt. 2.2 trillion pounds in debt. We're spending something like another 2 billion pounds in, whatever they're spending their money on. But then the Chancellor actually had the cheek to sort of say, yes, but we're going to be saving money. It's like, no, I looked at it and I was just like, none of this makes sense. This is all just total, this has just become, it's just paper money. It's just paper money. We're just playing with figures at this point here. So I do think there's something here linked into finance. And yeah, I have looked at it in the past and maybe I will look at it again. Let's just pull one card in terms of financial reset. I mean, I know that's a very loaded question and I'm not saying that I believe it's going to occur necessarily, but there are different levels of it is what I'm hearing. Okay. Metatron saying finances get reset in each budget, of course, by each government and by collective groups as well. So hidden and seen. Let me just pull a card on financial reset. We've got the Hanged Man and we've got the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands and Hanged Man. How would we interpret that? Limbo, basically. I know the Hanged Man can be, I usually talk about it being linked into seeing things from a different perspective, and yes, that is also part of it. But there's a big part of the Hanged Man which is just limbo status, nothing really happening, limbo. So somebody holds all of the someone's sitting quite pretty there, and it feels like it's the Queen of Wands energy. Oh, okay. Feels as though it could be linked into, this isn't necessarily just about November, but when any substantial rebalancing of finances around the world occurs, okay, in whatever year we're talking, it feels as though it's going to come in on the back of the divine feminine standing more in her power. And it may very well be to do with women in power, okay? And I don't feel it's any of the women that are on the world stage at the moment, okay? This is a young woman. It's a young woman that's rising from the ashes of the old. And there's a very Celtic energy here with this woman. So I'm wondering whether she comes from a more Celtic country. Um, I have mentioned a few times, haven't I, the Scandinavian bloc. Um, Feels as though they're going to be coming to the aid of the wider world in terms of just common sense approach, steadfastness, groundedness. That it feels as though it's coming more from the north, the northern hemisphere. Cooler climes. It's coming from cooler climes. I don't know who this woman is. I don't think she's yet on the world stage. I know Iceland, I think, have they got the whole female government or something? Or there's a lot of women in government in Iceland. I think I'm right in saying that. I don't think it's her. Let me just see if I can find anything else out about this mystery woman linked into finance. That is the Prince or Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, she's not, you see, you can't see her. You can on that one, but you can't on that one, which is how I pulled it. She's hidden. There's a rose on her back. The rose makes me think of England. I mean, the rose of England, the English rose. I don't know. Anyway, we're getting off track there. That's just a little deviation. Yeah, you see, because we've also got the High Priestess. It's hidden. It's hidden. There's growing female power behind the scenes that we cannot yet see. It's still in its infancy, and it feels as though it's linked into money, how we... It could even be, looking at it from a totally different perspective, it could even be that this is linked into the young feminine energy in our world. You know, I'm talking about young people, you know, male, female, you know, but it's that they view money in a different way. They don't use it in the same way. They don't value it in the same way. But it's positive. It's a sort of less consumerist society. And I know sometimes you could look at, you know, social media and you could think, oh, well, it doesn't look like it's going that way. But that's what I'm picking up. Okay, that's what I'm picking up. And the mountains, you see, again, the mountains, you see, that makes me think of Switzerland, big financial centre. Anyway, maybe we just see a few little stories in the news around finance this November time. Maybe that's why it's coming up in this particular reading. But yeah, right, let's get back to the more general November energy. And I'd like to explore this Knight or Prince of Cups, okay, who is, he's come, he's delivered. He's now moving on, but it's like he's delivered his message. Let me have a few more cards to go with that. Why have we got the Knight of Cups riding off into the distance this November? Why have we got the Knight of Cups, please, this November? The Fool, fresh new beginning. Ten of Cups on the bottom of the deck. That reminds me of the statue in Bushy Park near Hampton Court Palace, where I grew up. Well, I didn't grow up in Hampton Court Palace, but I grew up quite near there. There is a statue of the goddess Diana in Bushy Park. Why am I mentioning that? Goddess of love. It's all linked into the energy of love. It's the lotus flower, Ten of Cups. Someone gets their Ten of Cups. I mean, there is a very sort of, 1111 is also very linked into the whole twin flame energy as well. Twin flame soulmates, let's not get too bogged down in names, but love, you know, but big love, I'm hearing, big love. Big love that just arrives, you know, bang on time, you know, the meteor. There's meteor showers this 5th to the 6th of November and 11th to the 12th. Shower peaks this month. I don't know, it just feels as though love lands and wow, it's beautiful. Let me just feel into this energy for one moment for you, for those people that this applies to. Someone's really ready for this fresh new start, this big love, this grand love, this love of a lifetime is what I'm hearing, this love of a lifetime. And look, it's like she or he appears just when you think they're not going to. in the darkest hours. Scorpionic energy. See what else I can pick up with that. Let's go to Metatron. Anything else to say about this energy of love in November? It's well deserved. It's well deserved. It's written in the stars. I know that sounds corny, but it's what I'm hearing. It's written in the stars. It's well deserved. It's long overdue. It's been worked for. I just get this energy of it's been worked for. I also feel that for some of you who have lost somebody, and I'm talking about grief, I'm talking about somebody who's actually passed to spirit, they may very well be sending you somebody new. It's as though they're sending you somebody new. And somebody that truly loved you in this lifetime, you know. I mean, obviously, they're not going to send you somebody the first month after you've just, you know, lost somebody you dearly love. But after the grieving process has happened for a while and you're coming back to yourself a little bit and trying to get back, you know, into life, the fresh new start, they know when you're ready, basically, and they often will send you somebody to be a companion, basically, to be a life companion, because they can't be that anymore. You can still have a spiritual connection with them, you know, across the veils. That never goes. But I'm feeling as though there's some new connections coming in for some people that are also widowed or bereaved. Okay. Right, lovely. Okay, I would like to pull a couple of cards now from the Moonology deck. Be bold and make the first move just flew out of the deck. Okay, be bold and make the first move. What goes with that, please? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Hold your vision, and emotions are running high. Hold your vision, be bold and make the first move. Hold your vision is very much what I was talking about at the beginning of this video, linked into being the blind man or woman, and it's like you can't see the horizon, but you know, it's sort of, I said this on an Instagram video, I think last week. I used this very language that I didn't even know that this card talked about it as well. First card, where was it? The card of mystery. That it's like you can't see the horizon. It's foggy. It's like, it's not, you don't even know if it's still there, but it is there. You've got to hold your vision. You've got to hold your vision of what it is that you wish for, what it is that you want. And also being bold about it, making the first move. What that I think means more than anything is taking the steps, taking that first step, breathing deeply, going for it, okay? Trusting yourself. This emotions are running high card. I think that's just what I was talking about earlier, about all this sort of chaos energy everywhere else, but you've just got to be, you know, you're okay as long as you just stay within your little pod, okay? That's what I'm picking up there. Okay, let's just use the Metatron spray and see if I can get any other messages for you for this month, November. Anything else that wants to come through today, please, Metatron. This is the connection and attunement spray. November. He's reminding me of Bonfire Night, of course, in the UK, which is the 5th of November. He's taking me towards world structures, organisations, politics, basically. Remember the 5th of November, gunpowder, treason and plot. It was the whole thing about Houses of Parliament, Guy Fawkes. Rebellion, you know, I'm not saying that's going to happen again, linked into the Houses of Parliament or the UK, but it's rebellion is in the air. Subplots are in the air. Funny actually, I mean, I live in quite a sedate place really in the UK, and I was just driving somewhere today, and okay, it's Halloween weekend, but I've never seen this in my life. Somebody in a car went past me, and they were driving the car, and they were wearing one of the anonymous masks, you know, Anonymous, the group behind the scenes in the shadows, Anonymous group, and they've got that mask that, you know, is, I don't know if it's a symbol. He was wearing that and he was driving his car. And I was like, I was really quite freaked out by it just because it was such a weird sight to see in my little local street. But yeah, it's underground energy, rebellion, revolt, revolution. Let's pull a few cards on that, shall we? Take your pick in terms of what, I want a different deck, in terms of what area we're talking about. Could be pandemic, but it could also be linked into, we've got COP26 starting tomorrow actually, linked into the environment. Let's go for this deck. Oh, that was spectacular. Oh, I don't know which deck to use now, and I'm going to use this one first, the Magical Nordic Tarot, because I was talking about Scandinavia earlier. Revolution. Just get revolution. What are you trying to say about revolution? November, the month of November. Revolution, the energy of revolution. Three cards, please, Metatron. The Hierophant, which is the energy of the teacher, yeah, but it's also linked into church, government, you know, queen, country, all of that stuff. The ruler. In this deck, it's linked into knowledge. It comes with the card of the Sun. It's a good card, the Sun. But it's saying the spotlight is on our leaders. And in particular, the Queen of Cups. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to accept any comments coming in of abuse as soon as I mention this person's name. Thank you very much. But obviously the Queen of England at the moment is in declining health, probably. Okay. It could be linked into that. She's on a piece of ice here that's getting smaller. I've pulled the card of the Four of Pentacles, which is the card of stability, though, to go with that. I mean, that just might mean that that piece of ice that she's on is still quite stable for a little while longer. Or it could mean that what is underneath her and who takes over, if and when, there's a stability there. I don't really want to get too much into this reading on her, to be honest, but got the card of doorways. There are always potential doorways when somebody gets to 95. You know, we all have to go at some point in time. And if and when she does go, or she will go at some point, I will come on and I will talk about it, and I will bring through some messages of unity and healing. And I'm not going to allow anything else in terms of abuse linked into her reign. You see, I look at this Hierophant card now and I see two figures here, and this feels like William and Kate. It doesn't feel like Charles and Camilla, it feels like William and Kate. With the knowledge. With the ambition. With the drive, with the opportunity, with the choice. There will be a choice when the time comes. I'm not saying it is this month, but when the time comes, there will be a choice. Whether it, I've always said this, whether it passes straight to William rather than Charles. If Charles does take it, then it will be short-lived. Okay, they don't want me to read any further on that. The cards have just fallen all over the floor. Fair enough. Let's move on to a different subject, because that's a bit... It'll be a test for our community. I'm talking our wider spiritual community when that event happens, because we will be able to either put into practice our spiritual teaching in terms of seeing all souls as an aspect of God, and all souls having taken on specific roles in this lifetime, or we just go straight into duality and finger pointing. That's what I mean by I'm not going to allow the finger pointing here. Okay, right, let's move the subject on, and let's end with some final cards. 51 minutes in. What do you want me to do now, Metatron? Bring Sandalphon in, he's saying. Okay, well, I don't know whether... Have I got a Sandalphon up there? Yeah. Sandalphon? November. So tune into your feet and the earth beneath you. Feel the vibration of her. I'm feeling that her vibration is going to get stronger through November. So by that I'm being shown pulses. I'm being shown the sound of the heartbeat of Mother Earth, feeling strong and healthy, but resonating more strongly. So many people being called to particular places, particular portals of spiritual significance in our world, whether they be beautiful places in nature, whether they be something beautiful that man has created. Funnily enough, in December, I'm going to be going to London, and one of the places I really am being called out that I want to go to is St Paul's Cathedral. And St Paul's Cathedral, haven't been there since I was a little girl, has something called the Whispering Gallery. And I don't know, I'm called to go to the Whispering Gallery at St Paul's Cathedral, right in the city of London. And I'm meant to be there to do something, I don't know, even if it's just walk my light. So yeah, I'm going to be doing that. But yeah, I'm just feeling Mother Earth's network of light just flashing. And it's as though you're going to know where you need to go in November to attune, to align, to steady yourself, to birth, actually. It's like we're going back to this whole Scorpio energy of rebirth. Birth is primal. Birth is... I'm actually being shown... I mean, it's, again, we started with the vulture, and I'm ending now with this imagery in my head. I can see it. And it's as though we're naked, and it's like we're crouching on the earth and we're birthing, and we're just like, it's really primal. It's really primal. And it's like then you give back to the earth what is no longer needed, and you rise up. You rise up, and you're born anew. I think this is all preparation for 2022. You know, I think we go into 2022 very, very different from how we came into 2021, but there's some big metamorphosis and transformation about to happen for all of us, I feel, over the next 4 to 6 weeks. Let's end with one final card from this deck, which I started with, the Patrick Gamble deck. I'll do that again. I've got 3 cards all stuck together. I just want one, please. One final, just one card, please, to end with from this deck. One card. Final message to wrap up this video. Final message to wrap up this video. Just one card, please. Thank you. Yes. Balance. Look at that. Balance. What a great card that is to end with. Balance. I love the colours on that, don't you? The rainbow. Everything's balanced. The good times, the bad times, the tears, the smiles. Balance. Let's see what it says in the book. Card number 17. Take time to hold within our hands all that we have, asking yourself what is beneficial in creating positivity and a loving energy against what has served its purpose and is of no further use. It's time to remove the old in order to create a space for the new. The more we clear, the more space we have for the flow of goodness and abundance to take root and grow within our life. This card also may suggest that one is juggling too many responsibilities and feeling the strain of that. Sometimes less is more. Well, I tell you what, I hope you've taken some nuggets from this video, because there were various messages for various different groups of people. I think reflecting how varied November is going to be. As I said at the start, we've got a lunar eclipse, we've got a Scorpio new moon, we've got the Day of the Dead, we've got All Souls, we've got All Saints. We've got just a lot going on, and we've all got the 1111 portal as well. So try to just remember the analogy of being the pea in the pod, okay? And keeping yourself as well and intact as you can. I will be back as regularly as I can this November, and I will definitely be with you for 1111 as well. Take care. Have a lovely time. Much love to everybody. Bye for now.